I want to talk about the anime Amagami SS. Now, this is based off a visual novel, and the one thing I really like about this one is there's no dark stuff, there's no messed up stuff, no toxic stuff. It's just a nice little pure romance just with different routes, and it doesn't go over the top, and it doesn't do a sister route. Yes, this anime does not do a sister route, and it's so good because the brother and the sister in this anime, they actually have a really good brother sister bond. So like that's one of the reasons I'm like, shout out to this anime for actually doing it good. And each route was actually really fascinating. We're gonna go over each of the different routes, but it was actually really good. And I was just like watching it, I'm like, wow, finally an anime based off a visual novel that doesn't have to do something crazy, wonky, dark for it to actually be enjoyable. And that was the one thing I really enjoyed, because when it comes to these romance ones based on visual novels, they go a lot of directions, especially when it comes to different routes. If you look at something like School Days, you know what happens after you've seen School Days. Then your Sora no Sora with the wild sister route. Yeah, you have those. Or if you have stuff like Higurashi, you have stuff like what is that mess called? Fruits of Gasai. You have stuff like that that's like already super dark stuff. And I mean, it's just nice to see one based on a visual novel that actually doesn't go out of the way. And then also there's something like White Album. Yeah, White Album's another messy one. So it was just nice seeing something that's not as messy. Yes, it does have its very wacky moments in this anime, especially when it comes to the main guy, because the main guy, he only thinks with his other head, and it's always like that 24/7. But besides that, it's a really enjoyable anime, and I would say it's a pretty good romance anime too, especially because all the different routes, and we get to see how the different ways he gets with the different girls, or if he doesn't get with them. It's just nice, and it was really just nice to have something that's just not, toxic or anything like that. But let's get into this anime and talk about the different routes, because each route is very interesting with the different girls, because like each girl has a very fascinating personality, and like it's interesting to see like where the relationships goes with each girl, because each one is always vastly different than the other one though. But let's get into it. The main character's name's like Junichi or something like that. It doesn't really matter. He's just the main character. But let's talk about the first girl. Now, the first girl is Haruka, and she's very outgoing. And she thinks outside the box in a good way and in a bad way, because sometimes she thinks over the top with some of the things she wants to do. And another thing about this anime is all these girls we show, they all each play different roles in each route. So like we'll see them, so like one girl will get their own route, but we'll see them in another route acting a certain type of way. So like it's pretty cool seeing that too. But like I said, the first girl, Haruka, she's the most popular girl at the school. The main character and her, they have a funny thing. The funny thing about this is he falls in love with her because they become friends, and he asks her out, and she basically curves him and friend zones him just for him to basically get out the friend zone and them to become a thing. And I was just rolling when that happened. I was like, wow, he can teach a lot of y'all how to get out the friend zone. But yeah, that was like the funny thing, because she kind of friend zoned him just because she wasn't really mentally prepared to have a boyfriend type of thing, whatever. And the other thing about this anime is each girl basically gets 6 episodes like that we can actually see the route. So like and this anime has 2 seasons. It has season 1 that has 25 episodes, and then it has 2 OVAs, and then it has 12 episodes in season 2, so a total of 39 episodes. And each girl out of them total of 39 episodes, they each get 6 episodes to themselves. So like that's a big chunk of like episodes that we can actually learn about these characters and see the relationship grows. So like season 1, it shows like the girls like their first routes and all that, and then season 2 is just kind of like it's adding some like in between type of stuff, or like finishing a route in a way. And with Haruka, when it comes to like their route, we get to see both of them like have this wackiness with each other. And there is one instance they go to find a place to like where they can be alone, and she asks him like basically he kind of infers that like, oh, he wants to kiss her on the back of her knee. Yeah, because he said that's like what a dog would do. It's weird. Yeah, it happens in the first route. It's very weird, but it's hilarious because this man was fiending. Because the next day after he did that, he's like, "Yo, I want to kiss you there again." It was wild. Yeah, the first route is very wild, and it's hilarious though. But then by the end of this route, we get to see them older when they're living together. So that was kind of cool. We got to see them older, and then in their second other route, we deal with like her having like her cousin come here, and she's about to graduate. So like we deal with that. That's what happens in like season 2. But let's get to the second girl, because the second girl, she has some very out of pocket stuff when it comes to season 2, and it's his friend that he met in middle school, and like they have a really cool relationship where they bounce shit off each other and all that. And like she also works like at a diner or something like that. But she's really cool. I like her route, but it's the second 2 episodes, second 2 episodes she gets in season 2 that really puts a staple on her. But name's like Karu, and she is out there because when they get together, like they've always been childhood best friends and they finally get together and all that. But the one thing I really enjoyed was in season 2, we get to see like how they're transitioned from being like really close best friends to trying to be like closer and do stuff that you do in a relationship. And that was the thing I really enjoyed about her route in season 2, because there's at the beginning, she goes to help this man draw and she sits on his lap, and we're to say that she goes crazy while she's helping him, like when she's trying to draw this thing, and she's sitting on the desk and everybody in the classroom is losing their mind. And it was wild. It's like, trust me, I'll show them scenes because it's kind of wild what she gets into when she's trying to help him draw in, because she sits on his lap and this man, we'll just say he might have a nutgasm. We'll just say that. Because the way stuff was going. But yeah, their route was fun. They do also in the second season, they do get lost on the trip, and that kind of like helps strengthen their bond and all that. But still, it was hilarious though. Let's get into the third girl. Now the third girl, her name is Sei, and she's a shy / quiet girl, and she's also his little sister's like one of her friends, and she's a new girl to this school, so she transferred like to the school place, whatever. And her route is okay. We get to see her basically get out of being shy a little bit, because the main character is helping her trying to slowly get out of being shy. And there also is like, they do this thing at the festival, because like this festival is also wrapped around like this whole school, like all these arcs they all deal with the festival type of thing, whatever. But at this festival they pose as like a couple and they come in second. And when we get to season 2, we get to see like how everybody in the school is basically coming to her now, because like everybody sees how popular she is, how hot she is, blah blah, all that. And the main guy has to like kind of deal with that, because he's kind of feeling a little bit insecure, because like he's seen all these people, and jealous a little bit of like all these people that are coming around him or coming around her, and like they're not talking about him and they think he's no good, stuff like that. But I mean, their route, it's okay. Like it was a chill route. It wasn't like really the best thing ever. But let's get to the fourth girl. Her name is Ai. And she's a swimmer, and she's also her first year, and she's best friends, or not really best friends, but she's friends with his little sister. So there's that. And when they first meet, it's kind of funny, because him and his friend, they're like going to the park because he has to use the bathroom. Like she's swinging, and of course since she's swinging, she jumps off and they see something. And like from then there, they have like a little banter throughout the school until they finally become a little bit close. And their route wasn't that bad, because there's a lot of things that happen. Like at the school festival, he helps her out with when it comes to like cooking and stuff like that. And then it's season 2 that I really enjoyed, because like it showed their relationship grow even more, mainly because he starts studying for cram school and all that. And when it comes to like Christmas Eve, they're supposed to spend time together, but he basically got stuck at this cram school and they picked him up early, but he sneaks out and he meets her and they have a little time like that. And then towards the end of the arc, we get to see them older, because like he's already graduated from high school while she's still there, and like she comes to his apartment and stuff like that. There's that. Like I said, it was cool. It was like a cool little route. It was alright. Now the fifth one is his childhood best friend. And you know the thing about this one is, even in an anime where everybody gets a route, they still find a way not to let the childhood best friend, win. And that's the crazy thing. They get the childhood best friend her own route, and she still does not win in a way. Like, it's stuff that like maybe in the future it could blossom into something, but it's hilarious because he joins like the tea club with her eventually, and like has been helping her out, and even meets like the older people that are in the club. And eventually towards the end of their route, he's going to join the club that she's not there by herself. But like they're not dating. Like there's little instances that like it could happen in the future type of thing. But it's just funny that they did the childhood best friend like that. I'm like, damn. Even in a route that the childhood best friend gets her own route, they still are doing her dirty. And they do that a lot in anime. But it was just as funny. But I mean, there's like towards the end, there's a little bit of stuff that like it could go somewhere in the future type of shit. Because like they kind of admit towards the end that they kind of have feelings for each other, and they kind of like notice that. Because like the main guy finally notices in a way, but still it was just kind of funny. Like it took forever for them to finally notice though. But the last route, or I guess I'll say second to last route, but like it kind of is the last main route, is the class representative. And it's the best route. It's the best route. Mainly because the class rep, like we think she's this nice girl, and we see her through like all the different routes, and we always see her, and like she's always playing some big role, it seems like, because like we see her so much in every other route, and she's always asked the main character something. So when we finally got to her route, it was phenomenal. And she's the last route that we see in season 1 too, and it's a really good route, mainly because we find out that the class rep, she kind of been putting on like a persona, and she's been kind of like having this fake little type of like personality for all the school and all that. And like her real personality is like the one where it switches to like her being kind of mean and stuff like that. The main guy meets her, like sees that side of her, and then eventually they do fall in love. But it was phenomenal. It was a really good arc, especially because it ends with them basically like going like maybe 10 years in the future, and like they come back to like the festival, and by then they're married and they have a kid. It was a phenomenal arc. And then when we get to season 2, they show us like some of the stuff in between, and like it deals with her becoming the student council president and how he becomes like her vice president, and how there was a situation. So basically like the person that she's running against, they have like some type of history of beef and all that. So like the other girl, she's basically trying to like pursue her boyfriend, which is the main character, and eventually his dumbass, he does go out and meet her, and she does kiss him. But then the interesting thing is the class rep actually does not get mad at him, but kind of gets mad at the girl. So it's kind of like a little bit of a healthy relationship right there. But at the same time, she was calling him a dumbass, mainly because it was like, dog, how gullible can you be? You have me. Why are you falling for her dumb little tricks? So yeah, there was that one, and that was my favorite route because it was really good. And like, in my opinion, I'm not sure what the game is, but it seemed like that was probably like the best route where you would have in the game too, mainly because the route ends with him and her like being married and having a kid, where every other route didn't really end with a marriage and a kid. So I'm just like, that might have been the true route. I'm not sure though. But there's one other route which was really good, and it's the OVA that we get, and it's about this girl named Riza, and she's also like a secret route, like I think in the game, like in the game, video game, whatever. But the reason why this route was really good is because there's a timeline where he basically pulls almost every single girl, but Riza basically stops all that from happening, because we see all the girls from like each route from season 1, plus we see other girls that we didn't even get to see no route of in the anime that he would have had a chance with, and one of them would have been a teacher. But like basically what she was doing is she was showing all these girls like a picture that the guy was already with somebody, that way she could pull the guy. And that was really fascinating, because I was like, wow, there was an arc where he got almost everybody but this character right here that really liked him, even though she was quote unquote a stalker too. But like their route wasn't that bad. It was just really cool seeing that. And then lastly, the sister route, which is not like really a real route. It's mainly just OVA that has the sister there. Because like the funny thing about the guy is like the brother is like, she even says, oh, what do you think about my outfit? And he's like, yeah, not turned on at all. And I was rolling. I was like, thank you, anime. I was like, you're not doing this stupid sister route. And that was like the funniest thing about the whole anime. That shit had me rolling in the OVA when he was like, yeah, I don't really care. Because it showed like all the different girls, I think like in swimsuits or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was. And he's like, yeah, I don't care about you. He was just paying attention to all the other girls. So they just had me rolling though. If you've seen this anime, let me know how you feel about it. Because like, in my opinion, it's a really good visual novel, and it's a pretty good romance anime. Especially like for all the different routes and all that. It's pretty enjoyable. Like I said, it's not like a crazy romance, because there's a lot of other ones that deal with romance differently and kind of better, but I just think it's a really good anime, and I enjoyed it a lot. And you don't see that many visual novels get 39 episodes, like not that many, especially when it comes to ones like this that have all these different routes and stuff like that, unless it's a way bigger series. But still, 39 is a lot for a series like this though. But yeah, if you're new, why not subscribe, enjoy the video, and not like. If you didn't, you could dislike, subscribe, really enjoyed. But yes, if you've seen this anime, let me know how you feel about it. If you want to watch this, I think it's on High Dive, or, hop on your pirate ship. You can watch it that way too. But it was a really enjoyable watch, and I enjoyed it a lot though. But yeah, I was rambling through all this is because like it had a lot of fascinating things, and I just liked all the routes though. But thank you for watching. I've seen this video though. Bye.